Hi, hello, g'day, kia ora, welcome to the studio. It has been a while, but I am back and feeling ready to craft and make things and just enjoy myself in the studio. It's been a while since I felt like doing it, so I haven't been down here. I've been catching up on sleep and trying to lose weight and dealing with anxiety and all sorts of things. So back here feeling really pleased and optimistic and rearing to go with some creating. I am so pleased to hear from Luise and Barbara that Dephemerember for 2024 is back on. I did last year. It was the first year I'd done it. It was totally exhausting, but I loved it. So I'm going to jump in and do it again and do all the prompts and post videos daily, well, on the 4 days a week. And we'll see how we go. So in order to do that, I need to make some journals. Or a journal, and while I was making one I thought I'd make some more, so I've got to make my Dephemerember journal. I want to get a start on my planner for January through March. That's the first quarter of next year, because I know that all through December I'm going to be absolutely flat stick, so if I can get it made now, then it'll be ready to use once 1st of January hits. I've also got a late birthday present. September was my birthday month. I had planned on, or I'd hoped to have a big month of exciting crafting, but just it didn't come about with my anxiety. So I want to let myself know that that's okay to deal with things like that and give myself a late birthday present. I've also got some gifts for some friends of mine, and I'm really hoping to hit that 500 subby mark sometime during Dephemerember, if not before. So that's my target. So I want to have something there ready to give away, or something that I can pick up and finish creating for a giveaway. So there we go, that's the plan. There might be some more thrown in along the way. I'm making them all as paper bag based journals this time, following along with Barbara's process that she's done. Looking forward to giving that a go. I did make fabric journals for last Ephemerember, but I did it slightly different. So I want to give this way a go because I thought it looked nice and simple. So 3 of the journals are going to be a little bit bigger than the others. So I've got some big paper bags, I've got some smaller paper bags. I'm cutting them all down to fit our A4 size paper that we have here in New Zealand, the same as what Barbara and Luise use over in Germany and Austria. So I am working to that size. So I've worked out, based on the number of signatures and how much space I want to leave, I need to cut my largest ones at 38.5 centimetres long and 22 centimetres high. So I'm just going to show you with one of these what I'm doing, and then I'll do the rest off camera because you don't need to see me do it 7 times. Right, so we put that away for now, but leave it somewhere where I can see it in case I forget, because I'm getting old. Right, so starting with this paper bag now. These bags don't have handles, so I don't need to worry about cutting them off. The main thing I wanted to check was that they were, so yeah, they're well, like 41 centimetres, well, more than that, 41.5. So they're well and truly long enough, and that's even without taking the bottom off. but I will follow Barbara's process of what she did. And the first thing we're going to do is very gently separate and lift apart, I guess is the term that I'm thinking of, this base of the bag. So we've got one side done, little bits flying around. These bags are not really intended for pulling apart, but well, I'd rather that they hold my groceries, to be honest. Alright, oh, that came apart quite nicely. Oops, and we've got some onion, is it? Onion skins. Right, now we're going to pull the bottom out and just extend these folds down. So straighten it out and put it down there. So we have got plenty there to work with. So I'm going to use this edge as my straight edge. Now this is where the seam is around the body of the bag, so I'm going to put that at the top so that I can trim that off. So this side here will be my bottom line. Now, it's not very straight, is it? Can we? No, I'm not even going to try to straighten those lines up. So it's a little bit different here to there. Nah, it's not the end of the world. Right, so what we need to do is measure this at 38.5. So now, because there's like a crinkle edge there, I'm just going to go slightly inside of that. And 38.5. Same here. And normally I'd mark in pencil, but just so that you can see it, we'll use a nice big black pen. And that way, neither of us are going to be squinting our eyes too much, hopefully. Right, so that's there. And then, oh, whoops, too wet, and I smudged it. That's there. And then while we're at it, we might as well measure 22 centimetres, because that's how high it needs to be for our A4 pages. So that's 22 and 22. I really love this long ruler for measuring like this, because it means I don't have to try and slide it along. So there, that's good. And there. Okay, so put that there, that there. Now, what I'm going to do is use my trusty paper clips to just hold this together so that it doesn't move as I cut through here. A nice long shears at the ready, and we are trimming the length first. There, that's pretty good. So we've still got a nice, good, healthy chunk that we can use for something else. Now we're going to shift these down to the sides here. Whoops, no, before I do that, I'm going to pull this extra bit out. Now this is slightly different to what Barbara did. She left hers tucked in, but I'm pulling mine out just because I think it will be easier to cut. and it gives me also some really good leftover bits there that I can use for something else, potentially a page in the journal. So now we're just going to cut along here, trying to follow this line as straight as possible. And voila. Oh, look at that. So we've got the gusset left in the bottom, but not in the top. That's okay. We're not going to notice. And then we have this huge bit that is big enough for a page inside the journal. Even we can perhaps look at taking this extra bit off. If we can, we could potentially rip that off, but I'm not going to worry about that for now. So there we have our journal inside, well, our cover inside, all sized and ready to go. Okay, so I'm all ready to adhere my fabric to my paper bag. I've got a black rubbish bag that I have cut up into bits that are large enough to put any of the journal covers on. I've got my paper bag that I've cut up. I have 2 pieces of fabric in corresponding or contrasting or whatever it is, depending on the journal patterns. I have got some Crafter's Choice clear glue, which is a fabric glue that I am using to adhere the fabric to the paper bag. So let's get started with our first one. Now, following a suggestion from Barbara, I'm doing it in sort of sections as I go, just to bear in mind, you know, how quick the glue might dry. I'm not sure. And I am brushing it on, and this is a silicone glue storage container that I got from Temu. I thought I'd give it a go, and it seems to be quite good. It keeps the glue for quite some time. Now, although this is the first time I've used this glue in it, I tried some PVA in it and that lasted for several months. Now I'm, as I said, just doing section at a time. About a third, I think, seems to be a good size for what I'm working on. Now I'm not sure how it's going to dry because it has now started bucketing down here. But like, it's night time now, so I will be leaving them overnight while I go have a little wee nap, and we'll see how dry they are in the morning. So I'm just making sure that I'm getting the entire paper bag or section of the paper bag that I'm doing. Bonus, the lid has got little wee indents for you to balance your brush on, which I thought was very cool. So now that's glued. I'm going to line this up as close to the edge as I can, just because these are cut a bit small and I don't want that selvage to show. And then just hand burnishing the fabric onto the glued paper bags, and try not to sort of stretch it out of shape at all. So then when that's done, fold the fabric back to roughly where I got to and carry on. It's pretty much that simple really. So I'm doing one side and trimming down the first side, and then I'll glue on the second side and then just put it aside. At least that's the plan, because otherwise I won't be able to see the edge of the paper bag if I don't at least trim the first side. And I don't want to cut into the paper bag when I am trimming the fabric down to size. So upstairs for thinking on that one, thank you Barbara. So just lining up to those words, and then I'm probably gonna, oh well, no, not probably, I am going to sew around these journal covers once this glue is well and truly dry. I love this fabric. Now I don't mind that that's showing through a little bit. That kind of adds to the interest, and this is the inside of the journal anyway. And I mean this fabric in particular is one of the more heavy ones that I'm using, which is why I am making sure I sew it on afterwards, or at least sew around the outside to make sure that we don't have a very great lift off of the fabric. I mean, I don't mind a little bit, but hopefully I'll be close enough to the edge. I don't want that glue, don't want that sticking down together. I don't want I don't mind a little bit of lift off, but I mean I'm hoping that the edges are going to fray a little bit anyway. Right, now that I've got glue all over my fingers, we will just press this last bit out, and I press from the middle and then go up and down. I just think that should give us a nice coverage and stick, and not pulling or distorting of the fabric. Right, now lift this up. And that's pretty good. Ooh, just on there, but I knew it was going to be close. It was mainly about this side, making sure that that wasn't there. Now, whoops, we will just put the lid on there for the moment and lay that down there. Now, here we go. We're going to use our shears, and I might just lift this up a wee bit, and I'm cutting this about 1/2 centimetre from the edge of the, what is it, paper bag. Don't you hate it when you forget the words that your brain just doesn't want to remember them? Especially when you were thinking that word not that long ago. And also just trying to make sure that these pockets don't stick together in case I don't want them to stick together. Do watch your fingers, and I'm saving all these little wee bits because I mean they'll make ideal tabs, who knows what, in our journal. Flip that over, and we're going to put the other side onto here. That look awesome. Loving that. Right, let's flip that over and have a look. Yep, that's good. I'll just trim that all round tomorrow. Now I'm going to put that aside, and I'll see you once these have all dried. Okay, so I've just finished sewing all around all these journal covers and sewing them all together. In the end, I did one extra to what I originally planned, because as I was looking for some more fabric, I found something that was going to be even better for one of them than what I had planned. So now I've got a spare one of the original one. Excuse me. Now the way I did it was I stitched on this one side open to create a pocket, and all bar one, if you can see, has actually got, that is that bottom gusset. I've stitched it just on the side, so it's created a pocket almost hidden within the back pocket. So they've all got a pocket in the back. After I'd done the two sides that were going to be open, I held everything together, and I actually did it on all four sides. I clipped this side as well, and I just used these bulldog clips or file clips, whatever you want to call them, office supplies, to keep it closed, because I didn't want to put pins through it, mainly because I didn't think the pins were going to get through it. And the fabric clamps I've got have got little wee teeth in them, and I didn't want it pulling on any of the fabric. These ended up being a perfect solution. So I sewed around it in three sides, zigzag the whole way, exactly what Barbara said she was doing with her journals. Front has got no pocket, that side seam is sewn through, so no, I'm really pleased with how they turned out. I did, I think, break my old sewing machine. Luckily it was an old second-hand one that I've had since I was 20 something. So, I mean, it was second-hand when I got it. It was a gift from my mum when I moved out of home, and it was because I used to use her sewing machine, and now I wouldn't have access to it because I was moving up to the North Island, and she lived down in Christchurch. So, I mean, I was using it only for paper. Now looks like it's done its dash. So I had to finish off some of them with my fabric sewing machine, which looks like it is going to be my paper and fabric sewing machine. So anyway, I'll just give you a quick, I'll quickly show you the covers as they stand. So we've got this one. We've got this one. That's the kiwi, the native bird here in New Zealand, with shells that we find on New Zealand shores here, and in particular the pawa or the abalone. This is the original one that I was going to do that I've now changed my mind on. So that's my spear. This is the new one. I just love that fabric. Now this is probably the lightest weight of all the covers, but I'm still quite happy with it. We've got this one with kiwis. So we've got kiwis and tuis, pahutakawa, kiwi fruit, jandals, and the kowhai flower. It's all sort of New Zealand Kiwiana. We've got this one here. And I love these two fabrics. This one, and something a bit risque. That one's for me, that's why I didn't mind it. And this one here, I love this fabric. And that one as well. So that is all the journal covers. So now it is time for me to sort out the pages that are going in, decide if I'm going to put a flap on these pockets. I might do some, might not do all of them. May just depend on what fabric I've got available to do some flaps in. I will be back in the next video to show you what I've done. Bye for now.